Andrea from WellAndrea, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about creating an exercise program that you enjoy, that you want to do, that fits your life, your budget, your time, your other commitments in life, and really not worrying too much what people say is the best to do, because I feel like there is so much noise everywhere, and we're constantly told what's the best and what we have to do, and it's constantly implied that certain things are not worth it, that they're a waste of time, that there is basically just one way to do it, and I just do not believe this is true. Now, I do believe that our program should have certain components, and we need a little bit of all the components. So we do need some strength training. I do believe we need cardiovascular work. I do believe we need to work on mobility, stability, flexibility. So those are all components I do think we do need to include in our program, but those are the building blocks, and we can do that work in many different ways. And I think long term, we will stick with things that we like and that we enjoy. And a lot of movement that we will do will also really check more than one box, right? So I think there is plenty of research that shows that movement, even a little bit of movement, has a really good outcome, really impacts our health positively. And so I think what is important, again, is that we do things that we enjoy. So I do think ideally you will lift weights at least twice a week. And I think at the same time, if you lift weights twice a week, if you do a full body workout, you will really, and you cover the major muscle groups, you will have done, I think, yourself a big service. And so would it be maybe a little bit better if you lifted 3 days a week? Maybe. But if you do 2 really good days, you do the major muscle groups again. So maybe you do some squats, some deadlifts, some lunges, bench press, some overhead press, some pull downs, some rows, something like that. You can really accomplish a lot. You want to go close to failure with those. So 2 days, you check that off. You also want to challenge your cardiovascular system. You probably want to do something more than just walks, but that doesn't mean that walks don't count or that walks are a waste of time. I walk every day, usually several times a day, and it definitely helps to build the base. Now, there are different walks. You can walk slowly, like I am doing right now. If I'm not recording, I usually walk a lot faster. But then there are other forms of cardio. You can do some zone 2. You can do some higher intensity, some HIIT training, or some sprint training. I try to do that about once a week. That is great too. And then the rest, I think you can do things that you enjoy. And so for some people, that will be lifting weights 5 days a week, maybe. For others, maybe, so in addition to the 2 days of lifting weights, maybe they do 2 or 3 days of Pilates. Maybe they do some yoga. Maybe they do some other things. And I think that if we do that consistently forever, hopefully, right? I think we will be in a really good position when we're older. And I think that's what it's always sold, right? It's like we want to maximize our chances of aging well. And I think what's important if we want to do that is that the journey of getting there is actually enjoyable, right? And really also, I mean, if it's not enjoyable, we will just not do it. And so, what's the point of starting a program we're really not excited about, we really don't like, and, it's going to be a struggle versus doing something that you really enjoy. Now, I also think that as you are doing things and as you're becoming more comfortable doing certain things like lifting weights, maybe going to the gym, getting familiar with different exercises, different equipment, this may also change naturally, right? So if you, at this point, if you haven't lifted a lot of weights and you start doing it, you may decide, what, this is actually much more fun. I enjoy this a lot more. I'm really enjoying being strong. I'm enjoying being able to lift heavy bags and other things with ease now that I couldn't a few months ago. And, you may enjoy doing that more, but I think I really don't like all the messaging around, the best exercise to do Y or X or whatever, right? Because there is usually not one best exercise to do one thing, okay? There are many different ways you can increase your VO2 max, which you want to do. You want to increase your VO2 max. There are many different ways to increase your muscle mass and your strength. Also things you definitely want to do. But I think really doing an individualized program and doing what you enjoy, even if nobody else is doing it. So if you enjoy swimming 3 times a week, go ahead and swim 3 times a week. Just make sure you also lift weights and you maybe also work your cardiovascular system some other way. Maybe have some more impact some other way. Anyway, this was just my thought today because I feel like I need to sort of have a counter message to this is the best way to do it, and if you do it any other way, it's a waste of time or it's really inefficient or whatever else it may be. All right, have a good day and keep moving in a way that you enjoy. Bye now.